Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another Wednesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I am located in the United States and I'm so very glad to have you join me today. Let's go ahead and see who's on. Refresh my screen on my laptop. See if I can find it. Okay. And there we are. Hello, Laura. So happy to see you. All right, so for today, I have a card. Which, I forgot to bring my laptop in so I could see the photo of the card because I don't actually have one made because the one I made I already gave away. So we're going to wing it. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to wing it. Let's see how it goes. See if I can remember what it's supposed to look like. Okay. So we've got some supplies here. Let's go over those while we're waiting for everyone to jump on. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Jennifer. I just had to refresh my screen because it wasn't showing up. Okay. So we've got quite a few stamp pads that we're going to use on this card. And we'll be using the So Refreshing stamp set and the coordinating dies. These can be purchased in a bundle and you save 10% when you do so, or you can purchase them separately. So I'm going to go ahead and put those to the side. We're going to be using some Smoky Slate ink, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, and Lemon Lolly. So those are our inks. And we've got a light Lemon Lolly Stampin' Blend marker here. And we're also going to be using the Cane Weave Embossing Folder, the Scalloped Contour dies, and the Countryside Corner dies. Okay. So let's set those aside. We've got some basic white thick cardstock for our card base. A piece of the Garden Green cardstock, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I have already run that through the Cane Weave Embossing Folder. You need a scrap of Lemon Lolly. You'll need a piece of Berry Burst, and this is cut with the 3rd to the smallest of the, whoops, 2, 3, actually it's the middle. Nope, no, this is not the right one. This one's too big. It's definitely the 3rd to the smallest. There are 7, not 6. So 3rd to the smallest. Got that. Okay. Got a piece of the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. And this piece is cut at 2 inches by 3 3/4. with the scalloped contour dies, I took a scrap piece of white and the second largest of the scalloped rectangles, and I just cut just a bottom portion because I only want the scallops. So I've cut that already. Just a scrap of basic white. And sorry about that. Somebody called. And I don't know if I can go in now and put this on Do Not Disturb. Darn it, I forgot to do that. So let's see if I put my watch on Do Not Disturb, if it will stop all of that. Okay. So then we've got a piece of the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper. This is a 48 sheet pack of paper. You get 12 double-sided designs, 4 of each sheet, and this one is cut at 2 1/4 by 4. And then you'll also need another piece of this same pattern that's a 1/2 inch by 3 5/8, and that's for the inside piece. You'll need a scrap of garden green, a scrap of berry burst, and then some basic white for stamping and die cutting. Okay? So out of the lemon lolly, I've taken the die from the So Refreshing. This die here, and I've run my lemon lolly through that, and I get this piece. I've already done that. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to start right in with this piece. I'm going to bring in some scrap paper, and this piece, I don't know if you can tell, but it has some embossing in here, and I'm just going to take my Stampin' Blend between the embossing and run my Stampin' Blend in the decreased part. And give that just a little bit of extra color. I tried doing it with the putting the die through the ink pad, but I wasn't happy with the results. And I was much happier when I did it this way. And it doesn't take that much to just take your Stampin' Blend and run that through. And then you can control where your color goes without getting it splotchy. Okay. So we've got that done. All right. We can set that aside, and then you can see that when that dries, it will lighten up some, but it will give it just a little bit of added dimension. Okay, so let's set that aside, and let's do some stamping. So we're going to need a picture. Let's start there. And we're going to need the glasses. Okay. So let's start with some smoky slate. And we're going to do the outline of our picture. And we're also going to do our glass outline. we need 2 of those. Okay. And then let's move to our bubble bath. Nose is itchy. And we're going to use bubble bath. Whoops. Before we do that though, my bubble bath is a little juicy, so I'm just going to take a spoon and push that ink down. Clean that off because it has too much ink. Okay, and then we're going to put this in. Now the easiest way to line this up is to put, there's a little notch in the bottom of the liquid right here, and that matches up with this notch right here. So if you're looking for that, and then center it, you should do really well. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with the glasses. Whoops, I didn't stamp that one very good. I did not press down. Let's try that again. Okay, so now we have our glasses. And then we're going to need some Daffodil Delight. And this is for the outlines of our lemons. And we need 2 sets of those. And then we're going to take, you can either stamp off, if you don't have Lemon Lolly, you can stamp off on the Daffodil Delight to fill it in. Or you can use the Lemon Lolly. Your preference. Okay, so we've got that. Oh, and then we also need a lemon slice. Okay. Actually, we need 4 lemon slices. Okay, so we've got those. I'm going to switch over to Garden Green. And we're going to stamp 2 sets of leaves. Okay, and then get some scrap paper. We're going to, not with that, we're not. I don't need that. I need the insides. We're going to stamp off. And put those in, stamp off. Throw those in. Okay. And let's see, at the moment I think, oh, then in Berry Burst we're going to stamp the sentiment, happiest birthday, like so. Okay, and that is all of our stamping for the outside of our card. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off with the Berry Burst. I forgot to wet my chamois again, but we're going to do the best we can so it doesn't super stain. Alright, so we've got that. Now, these all have coordinating dies except for the happiest birthday. So we would just get out our dies, and there's 2 cups. So you can cut 2 cups at a time, 2 lemons at a time. You can cut the pitcher and the lemons. This goes like this. just like so. And then you've got the leaves. And that will cut both leaves separately that way, okay? So you would run all that through. And I did do that, didn't I, in advance? Oh, maybe not. I thought I did. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What happened to my little thing? I did do that in advance. What did I do with my little container? Well, how did I lose it already? I haven't even made a mess. Oh. Okay. So I've got that all done. And in addition, with the Berry Burst and the garden green scrap that I have here, I ran through quite a few of the little strawberries and the little dies that make the caps for the strawberries. Okay, so I've done that, and I already put those together because these pieces are so tiny that I was afraid that I would lose them. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our dies back so those don't disappear on me. All right, and we'll set that aside, and here's our pieces. So we've got our pitcher and our glasses and lemons, and here are those cute little strawberries. Aren't those just adorable? Let's see, is the camera going to focus? Am I too close? Okay, so we've got that. That's not cut very well. Okay, and then, so I've got 3 strawberries that have stems on them, and then I have 3 strawberries that do not have stems. Okay, so let's push these all aside for the moment, and let's start putting our card together. So first we're going to put our card base in half, and then I'm going to add my embossed piece with some liquid glue. So we've got that. I'm just going to give that a good press, and I'm very gently rubbing this, not hard at all, because I don't want my embossing to be flattened. Okay, so then we're going to put this in and this in. Before I put this down, though, I'm going to take and add this to the center of my patterned paper here. And I wonder what I did with my silicone mat. It should be right by my side here. And I'm just going to try and center that up as best I can. And put that on. I don't want the stitching to show, but I want that to be right below the stitching. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on, and this is going to go like this at an angle. So let's put this one down first. And again, I'm using liquid glue because I've got the 3D embossing folder. I'm just going to put this on like that. And then I'm going to add this. Like so. Okay. And then what did I do with my lemon lolly piece right here that I colored? This is going to go on here. So let's go ahead and put this on. And this I can put down with Stampin' Seal. Oops, sorry, did not mean to bump you. Let's put this down like so. And then we're going to get some dimensionals. Well, we're going to put this down first. So let's get a little bit of seal for this. And run this across here. Okay. Go ahead and pop up our picture. I'm just going to set that up here. We'll add our glasses. And those are going to go here. Like this. Okay. So let's pop those up too. Okay, so got those. And this one like this. I'm going to take one of those strawberries. Well, two of those strawberries. I'm going to take a little dab of glue. I'm going to use my fine tip glue bottle. And take your pick tool. I'm going to get out some new putty. Okay. I'm just going to lift that up. Put a little bit of glue on the back. Just a dot. And I'm going to put this on the edge of my glass. Okay. And I'm going to take my lemons. I'm going to put these in my picture here so that it kind of looks like I have strawberry lemonade. Okay. And so those are going to go something like that. Let me grab a glue dot for those because that's the easiest. Here. We put one down here, one over here, and one here. And then I'm going to take my strawberries with no stems on them. I'm going to drop those into my lemonade. Just a little dab of glue there. So that it looks like I've got a strawberry lemonade mixture. Some fresh fruit. And then I'm going to put my lemons down here, but before I do that, I'm going to put on some leaves. I'm going to do that with glue dots. And I'm going to put the glue dots on the front because I'm going to stick them to the lemons. Okay, and I'm going to start with this one that has a little bit of extra weight at the bottom. And I'm going to put this over here. And then I'm going to take this one. So if you don't get something perfectly cut, you can always fix it. Either with your scissors or by strategically placing it on your project. Okay, and then we're going to take and put these right down here. And my glue dots are really sticking out too far, so I'm going to push those back in because I don't want all that glue up there. Actually, let me see if I can pull some of that glue dot. There we go. Move that to the back. There we go. Got it. Fixed it. Glue dot won't be in the way now. Okay, and we'll be good. So let's get our bones here. Stick that down. Right down here. Okay. So that is that. Now we're going to take one of these other lemons, and I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to try cutting it right down the center. And then I'm going to throw these in the bottom of my glasses. So that it looks like they're leaned up against the edges of the glass at an angle. All right, so what we have left on the front of this card is the sentiment. Okay, and we stamped that happiest of birthdays. And I thought I had already cut that out, but I don't see it. So we're going to grab a pencil. And what did I do with that? Oh no, I did cut it out already. Right here. So I hand cut that, and the way I did it was I took a pencil and I drew around where I wanted it to go with my pencil. And then I hand cut it with my scissors. Okay, so then I get this, and I'm going to add this right up here. And again, I'm going to do that with dimensionals. Okay, so let's find our sheet of dimensionals. And we're going to run this like that. And I'll take one piece here and another small piece here, just to make sure that that is very well supported. Okay. And there is the front of our card, but of course, what card is complete without my Wink of Stella? So I'm going to take our Wink of Stella glitter brush. I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle so it looks like we dipped our fruit in a little bit of sugar. All right. And for the inside of the card, I took the sentiment from the stamp set, "Time spent together is the sweetest," added a 1/2-inch strip of that same designer series paper, added a couple of the strawberries with holes on them, and then I'm just going to add this to the inside of my card. And who wouldn't love to get a card like that for their birthday? Okay, so I did not complete the envelope, so let's do that quickly. Just going to take an envelope, and for this, I'm just going to take the smoky slate for the picture. Make sure I've got my envelope right side up. And then I'll get the bubble bath. And again, I'm going to line up those bottom openings. And there we have an envelope. Ready to go. Just that easy. Okay, well, I hope you like that. That's our first project. I'm going to have to refresh the screen because I'm not seeing any comments. Okay, there we go. Oh, Tracy, you need to get that cane weave. That's good. Oh, thank you guys. I'm so glad you like the card. And I really liked how I did the blanket so that it gave it a little bit of added texture. Okay, so let's clean up a bit because, you know, I made a mess. And I'm going to need some of these same stamps for the next project. So let's get those cleaned up. Although I think I've done a lot of the die cutting for this one too. Okay, let's go with that. I think we're good. Throw these over here so they're not in the way. All right, so I know I don't need those glasses. Okay, so here we are. But before we start the second project, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a bonus card that I made, not using the lemonade at all. So for this card, I used the Simply Sketched, or not Simply Sketched, the Sketched Plaid background. This die cut comes from the Nested Essentials, and it's ink blended with Azure Afternoon. This die cut comes from the stamp set and are the dies, and then these are the flowers from that set. So I use these 3 pieces to make that. Now I'm going to give you a little trick on doing those because they can be a little tricky. So let me grab a scrap piece of white here. Okay. And let's grab these 3. I just want to show you how to stamp those because I found them to be a little on the tricky side. So I started with my darkest color, which was Berry Burst. And the outline stamp of the flowers. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp those down in the Berry Burst. And then the bubble bath for the inside of the flowers. I'm just going to line those up. Okay. Now comes the tricky part. Ooh, and I might be too low on this, so let's put a piece under here just in case I went too low. And I'm going to take my garden green and I'm going to ink up my stem. And I found the easiest way for me to do this was to turn my flower sideways. This has some spots here that if you look real close, it indents for petals. So we're going to go down here and we're going to line those indents for the petals up. Make sure that those stems line up with the flowers. And then voila. That worked for me. Okay? When I tried doing it in the a vertical direction, I could not get those to line up. So I thought, oh, I better show you guys how to make those work easily because it is such a beautiful flower. All right, and then this has a die to cut it out. All right, so there we are. That's just a quick tip on how to make those flowers work for that card. And then I also used the Starry Sky Baker's Twine. And these flowers are from that, these leaves come from the So Refreshing set. I used the Thank You Kindly, put a little bit of Wink of Stella on the picture to make it sparkly. And then these are the four gems, 4-pack of Tinsel Gems. Tinsel Gems 4-pack, that's what they're called. Okay, so just a bonus card. Let me get this off. All right, now let's get on with our 3D project. Okay, move this out of the way so it doesn't get dirty. That would be terrible. And we'll grab our supplies. And okay, so this is our little project that we're going to be making. And I have done some of the work ahead of time. So in addition to the So Refreshing bundle, we're going to be using the Cracker and Treat box dies, and this is a fabulous wingman stamp set or die set because you get so many extra little pieces other than the cracker die. I use this tag die, and this actually meets the creative challenge that I put up on my Stampers social group to make a 3D project with a tag and dimensionals. Those were the 3 in the row for this. I've got dimensionals underneath my lemon and my tag here. Okay, we're also using the Hi Friend Comes from the Wonderful Thoughts bundle. It's right here. This is the All Sentiment set that has dies that will cut out each of these. We're not using the dies tonight. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of petal pink cardstock. And this cardstock is cut at 4 3/4 by 6 5/8. So let's grab our Simply Scored tool. And we're going to put this at the top of our Simply Scored with the 6 5/8 inch at the top. And we're going to score this at 2 7/8, 4 7/8, and 5 3/4. Okay, then we're going to rotate it, and we're going to score it at 7/8 on both sides. Turn it 180, and 7/8 again. And what that does is make sure that these distances are exactly the same no matter how you cut your paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and burnish all of our score lines. Now this end down here that has the two 7/8 inch sections here, this is the top of our box. This is the box front, this is the box bottom, and this is the box back. And what did I do with my scissors? I buried them under the stamp set. That's not helpful. Okay, so I'm going to cut down on these two sections. I'm going to cut on the large rectangle down to the second score line and create that flap. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, cutting straight down the large rectangle. I'm going to fold this inside. I'm going to cut off the top tab at the score line. Okay, and then I'm going to wedge those in just a hair. And these are going to be our inside flaps. Okay. Now on these two squares, we're going to cut straight up the rectangle on both sides, and then we're going to angle on the squares on both sides. Okay, I'm going to flip that around, cut straight up on the rectangle, straight up on the rectangle to the first score line, and then angle cut those score lines completely out. Okay, and there's our box. Okay. Now, I didn't, but you could round these front corners, and I actually think I'm going to do that, but not until I put my Designer Series paper on here first. Okay? So let's get our Designer Series paper. Again, I'm using Delightfully Eclectic. I'm not putting Designer Series paper on the back of my box, so I need one piece that is, here's the template, just so you can see the template. And you can see that our thing meets the template, okay? So our Designer Series paper is 1 7/8. 1 7/8 by 2 7/8, and that makes it landscape. Now this is the front, going on the front of our box. Okay, so I'm going to put my box front at the top, and then I'm going to add my DSP. Okay, and I'm going to center this in here. Now I made this a small margin because I don't like the looks on a 3-day project of a bigger piece of GSP so well. Okay, so then I need, these are going to be the sides. So I need 2 pieces that are 7/8 by 1 7/8, or no, 3/4 by 1 7/8. 7/8 is the width of the box, so we need this to be 3/4. Okay, so we're going to put this down right here. And by doing your DSP now, you'll know where to put your adhesive because you're going to know that this is the box front. Okay. And then these are the tops. Okay, and these, so this is going to fold like this. So I've got this up here. Now I want my paper here. And these 2 pieces are 3/4 by 2 7/8. Now you can pick which one you know, pick the best pattern for how you want it. Okay, so I'm going to put this one up here. And this is a directional pattern, so I'm being very careful to make sure that my pattern direction will not be upside down. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. All right. Oops. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a corner rounder. You grab any corner rounder that you have. I'm going to use an old Stampin' Up corner rounder. Old Project Life. This is my favorite corner rounder because it's small and it's easy to use. And I'm just going to take this and round these 2 corners. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to turn this over and my adhesive is going to go here and here. And I know my adhesive goes on the back of here because here's my DSP. And then my adhesive needs to go on my 2 tabs. Okay. So let's take our tear and tape. And I like mine to stick well. So I'm going to run my tear and tape down the outside as well as along the score line here on both of the sides. That will ensure that my sides stay nice and tight. Okay, and then I'm going to run my tear and tape and a plus sign on my tabs. Okay, so we've got that. All right. And I'm going to burnish those tear and tape pieces down. Makes it easier to get the backing off, and it ensures that your box will stay together. So I'm going to remove that wax paper backing. And I'm going to do that on all of the pieces. Okay. Now, I'm going to take, this is the back of the box. I'm going to take and close the side in, and I'm going to take the tab and I'm going to fold that up. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to fold that tab up over the side so that my tabs are on the outside. That ensures that I have a clean inside so my treats won't get stuck there. And then I'm just going to take and fold up my front over the back, line up the sides, and give that a press. And do the same thing on this side, line up my sides, give that a press. Then I'm going to take my bone folder on the inside and burnish those. Tear and tape needs to be burnished to give it a good seal. Okay, so there now is our box. This folds over. I forgot to grab the extra lemon treats. Okay, so this is sized to fit 3 lemon heads, individually wrapped. I got these on Amazon. Okay, and those will all fit in there. And then we're going to close this up. So to close this up, I'm going to use Velcro. And I'm going to save you a little bit of heartache, because normally we would just put one little Velcro in the center, but I didn't think the way I closed up my box that worked very well. So I'm going to take a Velcro dot and I'm actually going to cut my dot in half, just like that. And then I'm going to take half a dot and pull off the backing. And when I use a half a dot like this, I like to put the straight edge up near the top here, like so. And I'm going to put one on each side. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to pull off my plastic, and if it pulls up my dot, that back down, see if I can get that to pull right off of there. I'll use my Take Your Pick tool to line that all up. Okay, now I've got that. I've got my treats inside. Sticky part showing. I'm going to fold this down, make sure everything's all nice and even, and then I'm going to give it a press. Okay, and then I'm going to gently lift that, and I like to take my bone folder and just give it a press. Make sure it's stuck in there nice. And now it will stay nice. Okay, so we've got that. Now all that's left is our decorations. And I have pre-done those because I showed you how to stamp all this stuff, and we die cut it already, so I didn't think you needed to watch me again. So for this one, I used Daffodil Delight and the Smoky Slate. And in the same Daffodil Delight, I took the ice cubes and I stamped, and stamped so that I have 6 ice cubes in here in the same color. I don't know if you can see that. We are going to take the High Friend in the Garden Green. And remember, this High Friend is from the one, sorry, itch on my nose, the Wonderful Thoughts bundle. And I'm just going to stamp this right in the middle of this tag. like so. So I just needed a small tag. And then we're going to start assembly. So with this, I'm going to take my lemons and I'm going to get a glue dot for my leaves again. And this time I'm only putting one set of leaves on here. I'm just going to stick this on here. And this we're going to put down here, like so, right down here. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that there. And then I'm going to take my lemonade and I'm going to put it here. But because this opens, I can only put glue on the top of this, right? So I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to run one little strip across the top there. If I had my silicone mat, oh, if I could see where I put it, because it should be right here in front of my face, I would use that. Now, the key here is to make sure that your lemonade does not go below the bottom. And I'm just going to stick this right here. And when I'm happy with it, I'm going to give that a press. And I don't have any extra glue. So if you put it right here in this area, it will all work well. I just put it just below that line. And I'm going to get another set of lemons and another set of leaves. I'm going to add these here. And again, I'm going to stick these down with glue. And I'm going to set those up here, like so. And then I'm going to grab a dimensional. And let's see what we can use here. Pull that backing off. And I'm going to put this little slice right here. And we're going to get another dimensional. We're going to put one there. And one there. To balance that out nice and even. And then I'm going to place this right up here. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to get some linen thread. We're going to tie us a double bow. And then we'll add this after we get it tied. Alright. And then we're going to take that with a glue dot. Put that right on the glue dot in the center. And then give it a pinch to fold that glue dot over. And then I'm going to put it at an angle so that it doesn't cover my sentiment. We'll trim up the ends just a tad. Okay, and then for the finishing touch, I'm pulling out my favorite butterflies, the brushed brass butterflies. And I'm just going to put this right up there on my tag. All right. And there is our 3D project for today. Okay, so let's bring back in those projects so you can see them again. And here's the template in case you want to take a screenshot, although this template will be up on my blog tomorrow. Or no, Saturday. Sorry, Saturday. So we've got this. And we have our card. Our birthday card that we made. And then our added inspiration, the sketched plaid card. Okay, I hope you like those projects. Aw, thanks you guys. Thank you so much. I love those little boxes. Oh, and I was going to tell you that I did sit here and add some other things. You can also put 3 of the individually wrapped Zots, 2 Kit Kat miniatures, 3 Ghirardelli squares, and 8 Rolos. Or, I shouldn't say and, I should say or 8 Rolos in that little box. So it will actually hold quite a bit. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you back here next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Until then, have a fabulous week and enjoy the sunshine. Good night.